Has to work, right?
All right, so today is before we get rolling, I wanted to make a couple of announcements. We are going to be kicking up a Deadlands game soon. There's no exact launch date just yet, except for neither Levi nor Axel
Yeah, I was about to say,
nor Fez
sorry
can make
guys,
it.
I'm not in it.
Uh, but that's gonna be if you like
So
cowboys, if you like zombies, if you like ninjas, if you like dragons, if you like the Wild West, if you like steampunk, if you like horror, if you like magic,
If
it
you,
might
if
be
you
show
like
for you.
everything,
Yeah, if
It
you
is
like
your
anything.
chance to play a ninja pirate cowboy
It legit, like he's not even kidding. It
who
a
is
pretty fucking
also
awesome
an
game.
Indian shaman
And undead.
and undead. There's that.
It
that
is it
sounds
is a
amazing.
fucking amazing.
That's a lot of
setting.
descriptors.
Yeah, I know,
That's
right?
amazing.
It's a great game. I love it to death. We're gonna be doing that show. That's gonna be our Friday morning show. There's gonna be a couple of weeks of Friday morning, not probably just being like role playing related discussion rather than being an actual role playing show while we get things set up. But also there's a new YouTube series that I'm working on as well with Mr. M. Dubois here. He and I run a mage game back and forth. We haven't played it much, but we're gonna start kicking it up again. And
Yep.
it's a one-on-one game where he takes a turn being the GM, and then on the next adventure, I'm the GM, and we're running in a continuous setting. And we decided
Well, we
to
can
take
play
the
it now
opportunity to,
because
yeah.
it's become part of your job
I'm
instead of
saying,
just
like,
something
I
you
don't
do
have
on the
fucking time for
side.
games anymore. Like I got jobs to do. Okay, and now this show is one of them. But it's specifically going to be a game that's being recorded for people who don't know the ins and outs of the World of Darkness, specifically Mage. So, like, if you don't know the game, no sweat. We're actually going to be stopping and breaking to explain all of that shit. And also that'll help people who are
gonna be
running
awesome.
the game differently than I am understand where the differences lie. It's pretty awesome stuff. And if you want to follow
It's gonna
that,
be so
stay tuned to YouTube. I've already got it ready to go. It'll probably be launching on Monday. The character introduction file for Omen, which is the character that Mr. M. Dubois plays. So stay tuned if you want to see that. However, that's what's happening in the future. You guys are here right now. And today's adventure, the adventure we're beginning today, is entitled Alpha and Omega, Blood and Badge. It was the adventure that you guys voted for when I asked what you guys would like to see, and pretty much universally everybody said they wanted an adventure based on exploring Axel a little more in depth, bringing his history out, telling the story of the cop who is slowly going mad, slowly, bit by bit. I don't feel bad, Axel. I'd be going mad too if I had to put up with Levi all the time.
But you can well, all right.
That's why Tanya ran in front of the katana.
Seriously, it's like all right. So
Wow.
to start,
No,
to
that
start
is
this
not
off,
why.
Pythagoras and I put a video together that helps detail a lot of the questions and answers that I've been asked. I assume he hasn't been asked anybody because nobody talks to this kid. Let's get real.
Me? Yeah, no one.
Let's get into that though. Before we go off here, I wanted to mute these assholes again here so that you guys can watch this video. This is world premiere, first showing. All right, you guys are privy to a beautiful thing here. So without further ado, let's get into this.
You said that the dog was at your house last and then it got lost, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll radio some of my friends. We'll we'll keep a lookout. We'll find the dog and we'll bring him back to you.
Oh, okay.
That's a police officer's promise.
Axel Omega, Officer Axel Omega, is a police officer in the city. He prides himself on being the best cop he can be, and he is all about being honest. That's his key virtue, is being honest as possible. All the while, his insecurity is looking weak, not only around others, but to himself. He's very critical of himself. Main tropes of Axel Omega's character are mission comes first. So regardless of what may happen, for the most part, if whatever is the main mission, whatever has to be done, that takes priority. So Axel is always conscious of directing the focus back towards the main mission. His other trope is no man left behind, which means that if things go down, they got to get out of there, or it calls for somebody to be split up. He's against that. He wants to make sure everybody stays together. If there's somebody left behind, if they're having to hustle out of a scenario, he always makes sure that he can get that person and bring them along with them. And the third and final trope, always be prepared. That kind of ties in with his role as a police officer, that he always wants to make sure that he has the tools necessary for doing what he has to do, his job, and never be in a scenario where he is like, oh, crap, I don't have the means to do what I got to do, which kind of ties into his old looking weak thing. Officer Omega is the fighter of the group. He is always focused and honed in on the mission at hand. Whenever things go wrong, he never loses his cool, stays calm, and focused in on what needs to be done. Other members of the party kind of are inspired by that and also feel more focused and calm in bad situations. And so they kind of lean on him a little bit in those circumstances. So how does Axel Omega feel about the other members of the party? Jack French, who is a bit of the couch surfer, he initially didn't like Jack French too much, thought he was a freeloader, slacker, lazy, just an annoyance. But later, Axel Omega learns to trust Jack and certain dire needs where Jack had to just tell Axel, hey, you got to trust me on this. And Axel hesitantly does. Later finds out that Jack was right all along. So there is as an actual trust buildup there. Levi Waterhouse started off as somebody that was really that Axel Omega didn't really care too much for either way. Later, when Levi learned or developed his superpowers, Axel then really started to get annoyed by Levi Waterhouse through the different scenarios that occurred. So right now, Axel Omega doesn't quite care for Levi Waterhouse. He doesn't necessarily hate him, but he's just kind of annoyed and frustrated with him. Tanya, he got along with Tanya at the start to a degree, even though she would be very questioning and curious. And later, Axel learned to look past that and now gets along with Tanya pretty well. They have this established sort of trust between each other. Tanya and Axel tend to actually kind of get each other in some sort of way. Axel Omega's power is called Electric Thunder. And basically, it is a huge shockwave of power, force, energy exploding around him. He initially acquired this power and thought and kind of dismissed it as some sort of crazy stuff that's happened when he got knocked out and experienced all these bizarre things and doesn't really accept it until a situation arose where he felt hopeless in the sense that there was like a last resort sort of thing. He would be fighting to the best of his ability. It would get down to the wire, death or a life moment, and he draws in this sort of pent-up angst and regret and all the things he experienced in his past and failure, and just explodes into this burst of energy. And he only uses it in a last resort sort of way. He recognizes it as a power that was gifted to him somehow or another, and he will only use it in situations that are dire.
Shazam!
Axel's father, Vincent Omega, was a cop himself and a legendary cop. Everybody knew Vinny Omega. He was probably the best police officer around. Vinny Omega pulled over somebody for a basic traffic speeding violation when, out of nowhere, he was tragically hit by another person driving rather recklessly and was killed instantly. Afterwards, Axel decided that he should carry on his father's legacy as a police officer and join the police force himself, and he did. Little did he know that there would be so much more to being a police officer than he'd realize. Later, his superior assigned him a partner to kind of take under his wing and show the ropes and all that good stuff. And this police officer was named Officer Roland. And she was fairly young. She was about in her early 20s. Axel Omega is about mid-20s right now. And they worked together for a very long time. They were excellent together. They formed a strong friendship and bond as police officers. And one point, the same superior, the same boss of Officer Omega, said that they had to go and perform a drug bust operation at this one local bar. And so they did. They went that way, but they didn't realize how serious of a drug bust this was. They were just told that it was a basic, regular old drug bust. When they got there, they were surrounded by a bunch of nasty thugs who worked under this guy called Antonio Andolini, who, not to their knowledge, was the biggest drug lord in the city. There was a big shootout, and Axel was barely able to get out alive on his own, but he couldn't help but get separated from Officer Roland, who was actually captured by Antonio Andolini himself. Axel went back to his superior to tell him about this, and unfortunately, his boss said, "Hey, that's just the way it goes. Roland's probably dead by now, and probably better than what's happened to previous officers." And Axel was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Andolini loves capturing officers and tortures them. He has this thing for he hates police officers." And Axel's like, "Well, why did you send us to this, not even knowing all this, knowing that he likes capturing and torturing police officers?" And he says, "Well, if I told you, you would probably be opposed to doing it in the first place. You're just another cog in the wheel. It's your job, and we're not going to send anybody else back to get Officer Roland." Well, Axel was not having any of that. He's like, "Screw that. I'm going in on my own. You can take my badge if you like. I'm going in to rescue Officer Roland." So that night, he goes to the bar, and much to his surprise, it's pretty dark and emptied out. Nobody's there. He goes to the next floor and finds Officer Roland tied up to a chair with a single light shining on her. And Axel doesn't see anything suspicious about this. But again, he's a little bit of an inexperienced cop, and he goes to untie Officer Roland, and that's when he's jumped by a bunch of thugs out of the darkness there, and they hold him. Antonio Andolini comes out, stands behind Officer Roland with a knife in his hand, and says, "I got a message for you to send to your boss," and slits Officer Roland's throat right in front of Axel Omega's eyes. Antonio Andolini tells Officer Omega, "Go tell your boss to stay out of our business, or more cops are going to get killed." And Axel Omega is pretty traumatized by all this. Later, during the wake for Officer Roland, Axel Omega goes, he feels pretty compelled to at least apologize to the family members of Officer Roland. He feels like it's his fault. And he finds the only family member that showed up, and her name is Cassie. He goes and talks to Cassie and says, "I'm sorry. it's all my fault. You know, why Officer Roland died at my hands. I couldn't save her. And Cassie ends up telling Officer Omega her story about how they're sisters. And they lived together, the only family they had. And now she's gone, and Cassie is the only person left, really. And Axel feels obliged to help Cassie whenever he can, as far as simple things like doing things around the house that both Cassie and her sister took care of. And they end up forming a strong friendship that ended up turning into a marriage. After many years of being married together, Axel continues to, he joins back into the police force and doesn't quite shake the guilt of Officer Roland's death and feels obliged to go it alone, not take any more partners. He refuses partners because he doesn't want the same thing to happen again. And he's more determined than ever. He wants to be the best police officer that he can and hope to be at least half as good as a police officer as his father was.
Hey, if you don't have to sprint at him, you can just fire.
I'm going to run up to him and I'm going to put the gun to his face and fucking blow his fucking brains out.
Promise.
All right.
Nice.
I'll let you guys finish up the bit there.
Well, heart?
I am really proud of that video.
It was good. It was good.
Some
I like the
intense-
references to the old school stuff in there.
Yeah, right?
God, it's funny we're calling like old school stuff. It's like 3 months ago. Jesus.
I know, right? Like, oh my god, the show has changed so much. The game has evolved so much. You guys have played your little fucking hearts out. Like,
He started off rescuing puppies, and now he's putting his gun in people's mouths and blowing their heads off.
yeah.
Shit, son! Heartless. That was all. No, that was Cassie Rowland.
And
That was amazing.
that is the story.
I like it.
One Axel Omega.
So, like, I kind of knew what was going on. I didn't know. Whoa, bro.
I didn't know the story until we recorded the footage either. I was like, yo, Ted,
Antonio Andolini.
yeah, Antonio Andolini.
Fucking
Hey,
serious.
no, that was recommended. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew.
Credit goes to Squeegee for the name.
And Andolini is a character that shows up in a lot of my games, like an NPC that just like floats up as I reference, past stuff, kind of like Final Fantasy always has Ifrit, right? I've always got Antonio Andolini lying around somewhere.
Yeah.
And he's always this mobster, underground criminal type guy. It's pretty good stuff. It started because the name Antonio Andolini really annoyed Jen when Chris used it as his.
It's just so it is, but it just rolls off the tongue though.
Antonio Andolini.
It's good.
Like, once you start saying it, you gotta finish it.
Yeah. I think the sound levels are really off. Looking at it, let's
Okay. No, we
Right,
can
right.
blah blah blah
blah blah
blah.
blah.
Do you
blah,
need
blah. You're
who
still
needs to be
little loud.
talking?
Blah, 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 blah.
Who needs to be talking? Yeah. Blah 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 blah.
Matt, you are fucking exhaustingly quiet. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. Nothing should be wrong with
It
me.
sounds fine to me.
Does he?
There you go. Now you're
Okay.
talking.
Can I hear y'all? Can the chat? Can y'all chat? I've been fucking research. Leave me alone. I've been had my fucking head stuck in Western movies all day.
No one can blame me for that.
Nobody can blame. Fucking I love West. Are you kidding me? Pretty certain The Good, Bad, and the Ugly is one of my favorite movies of all time. Fistful of
Good, Bad, and the
Dollars.
Ugly is-
Westerns.
Can't remember if I've seen
Good
that.
stuff.
I'm pretty sure I have,
How-
but I can't actually remember.
Motherfucker, if you haven't, then I know what we're doing on, what was it, it's Wednesdays that you can hang out?
Yeah.
I never got into the westerns thing.
Oh my god. Fucking like early Clint Eastwood is amazing.
I'm not a big Western person, and still until I started reading the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. Then I was like, this is how you make Westerns interesting to me.
Yeah.
Has some fucking trippy, time distorted sort of shit going on. Then it's cool. But
The only
plain old
Western
Western.
I know is Firefly. No, my family was big Cary Grant, like that kind of era
Yeah.
of movies instead of Westerns, like the romanticized shit.
Romanticide? You mean like
romanticized?
Yes,
Sorry, romanticized.
That's when you kill everybody.
Romanticide.
Yeah. Romanticide. It's like
I thought-
murdering.
like
Friday the
arsenic and old
13th. Friday the 13th
It's
is
like a
romanticide.
praying mantis.
Yeah.
Arsenic and old lace is romanticide. I think.
All right, but so that was the video I wanted to get out there before we started this adventure, because this adventure is going to be building off of Axel Omega's history, and now everybody knows what that is.
Axel Omega. Me and Tanya, we're not even going to be doing anything. We're just going to be
Anya?
Pluto Fairy.
Tanya's dead.
I told you she's got the wrong label on her camera. It keeps throwing me off.
Thank you
Dead.
for the
Finger
follow
to
there.
the throat means death.
And
Metaphor.
thank you for the follow. All right.
Oh, sweet. We haven't even done anything and we got to follow. That's awesome.
And also for the
lately?
reminder that I should turn off my sounds here.
No soul for me. I thought that said Nosferatu at first.
Yep, you're an addict. All right, and I've turned off Pluto Fairy, and I've turned off the follower riff. It's all good.
No soul for me. 2 people in my D&D group play tieflings, including my husbando.
I'd play a
Tieflings are
They're
cool.
awesome.
All right.
Yeah, +2 dex, +2 int. Sign me up.
Yeah, just
Okay, so,
have like a blood oath.
As we get the show
humanity.
started here, guys, I don't know how many people here are new. I think we just had a follow, so at least for the guy who just hit follow, I'm going to explain beats, all right? This is a show. This is a live performance show. This isn't just a role-playing game, and that means you, the audience, are here, and you guys are an integral part of the experience, all right? Literally an integral part of the experience. Like, they earn no XP unless you guys give it to them. Okay, so when something goes down, when you would normally applaud because the role playing was good, or because something really funny happened, or because you felt that you really got the character in that moment, for any reason, all you guys think that the players deserve some applause, I want you guys to type BEAT, B-E-A-T, in all caps. Now, if enough people, all right, and it's about quantity of different people calling beat, all right. If enough people cry beat, all right. Then I award a beat. Get it? Get the beat.
You know what I kind of want to see now is people posting pictures of beats in the chat.
I know, right?
We know.
I'll award those beats become XP for the player characters in the campaign. So know that your guys, if you guys don't beat the PCs into submission, then there's no XP for the PCs. All right, That is on you. It's all you guys. Okay.
My goal in this game is to defeat the audience. That's it.
I attack the audience. You
Only
can't attack the
Matt would
audience.
set that as his goal.
Audience roll initiative.
All right.
That's
so,
okay. There's the beat boobs. See, Pith
Beat
got better.
ups, yeah, Pith is he's on point.
Well,
He's
his
the
are just
master of
close.
beat boobs.
His are just pressed together.
They have
That's
fantastic cleavage.
yeah.
That's how I show them off, man.
And beatage. All right. So that's how that works. We're gonna start off. I want to cover. The next adventure is gonna start a couple of days. And by days I mean weeks. At least.
Shut up. I messed that up a little bit.
Do you have a drinking problem?
That was ice cubes. That's not a problem. Well, what's left over of ice cubes? Shut up. Just all of you shut up.
Wow. I don't think I've seen anybody drink straight out of an ice cube tray before. And
They
got it all
melted
over their
themselves.
shirt. On
They-
top of
That's
that.
amazing.
They melted a little, so I was gonna get the rest of the liquid out.
There needs to be a GIF of that and stay forever on the internet. Like that can never go away. That was ridiculous.
Ow, my stomach.
How the fuck we get a beat for fucking Matt drinking out of an ice cube tray?
They're called, I think Matt deserves his own XP point for.
Oh
You
man,
need to put one into drinking.
we haven't even started playing yet, and
No. I haven't started playing yet in the I hate clouds. That's
oh god.
You missed ice cubes. I'm pretty. That's.
Just I don't even know how to explain that. That has to be highlighted in the VOD.
Oh yeah, no, that I'm gonna build that into a separate highlight. That was pretty
never
impressive.
Fogret. Did you guys note that at FanFest they misspelled for never forget on one never Fogret. Never Fogret the misspell. Never Fogret.
Right, so no soul for me. Check out this link.
Did I get? Yes, I did. I didn't know it was a picture, so hey, I'm gonna just click on it now. And
All right, so with Beats
Looks like
explained
lettuce.
and Matt giving us a perfect example of Beats in action.
of when you do that, yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah. Okay, so it's gonna be a couple of weeks, and I'm gonna need some information from each of the characters. All right, I'm gonna start with Faith. What have you been doing for the past few weeks?
I would like to number one scope out my apartment. The perimeter check my apartment, see if I gotta go find out more about myself because I don't know what the fuck is going on. But if there's like anything even out of order, I'm out that shit.
Yep.
Because like I know there are people after me, so I'm gonna kind of like stroll by one day, see if anybody's knocked on, broken in the door or something. But I'll try to like gather up some pictures or something, just try to figure out who the fuck I am.
All right. So go ahead and roll me intelligence plus stealth.
Intelligence. Ooh.
We'll call it like intelligence. Your ability, like intelligence is your investigative capacity here, and stealth is your ability to like not get caught if the place is on
Shit.
fire or, like,
Okay.
with demons or whatever.
I only
Okay,
had
so
2 dice and I win. So.
your apartment is nobody gives a shit, and as a matter of fact, like you have trouble remembering where it is. You like you know the building, right? But as you head up and down the stairs, there is this foggy kind of like don't understand which room was. After a while of persistent, and I mean persistent, searching of the building, you find the door that you remember is yours. And it is not locked. And when you open it, it looks like it has been searched.
Damn it. Of course. All right.
It's been searched, but it doesn't like there is a fine layer of dust on everything. This place was searched a long time ago. This is not recent.
Because I've been, to the best of my knowledge, locked up in 4-2 for God knows how long.
Right.
So
Nobody's been here in a while. There is a spot on the back wall that clearly looks as if there is supposed to be a crucifix hanging on the wall, but it's not there.
Crispies.
Your phone should be on the countertop here. Like you just,
But it's
but it's not. Like you just know instinctively. Like that's
Wonder
where the
who's
phone
got my phone.
Your phone's not here. There is dried blood. Looks like some people got shot. Your back window is broken. But like again, this is all old stuff. And you have no idea like how a broken window and all this blood, like nobody investigated or cleaned up. But then again, give me a shattered memories roll.
Shattered memories. Okay, hold on. I always have to remind myself. I'll eventually memorize this. Wits plus occult? Wits plus occult, yeah.
Yep.
With 2, 4. Boop. Ha-ha!
All right.
My 10s both exploded into 1s. That's really cute.
what you like, you're sitting like, how the fuck has nobody set foot in this place, right? And then then like you remember, and you have no idea what it means, but it's warded. W-A-R-D, ward.
Yeah, warded. Yeah.
And you
Like
don't,
an orphan.
You don't know what the word
No,
means.
like a magical ward. What the hell?
Like you don't understand why this explains it, but it explains it.
Yeah. Ooh.
Despite the fact the place has been searched, the back window is broken. Like nobody's been here because like nobody comes here. This is a safe place.
This is crazy. Are there any other like? I guess I'm just gonna keep. If nobody's been here, I'm gonna start digging.
All right.
I'm gonna spend a good amount of time just digging around and trying to like find photos and piece things together, and like literally sitting in the middle of the room and kind of like picking pieces up and okay, I remember something about this and I remember something about this, and then trying to basically piece shit back together slowly.
What you will get from all of the successes you've rolled so far is that you left in a fucking hurry because you set something in motion that somebody didn't like. And it's a sad memory. You feel like you were forced, right? Like intervening on an addict's behalf. Like nobody likes doing that, right?
Right.
That's the sense that you get, is that you were intervening for somebody who wasn't going to appreciate it.
Yeah. Any pictures of him? That's all I have on my unresolved. That's all I have on my unresolved conflict sheet. Any pictures of him?
Pictures of him.
Not him. By the way, not that him from like Powerpuff Girls. You know who I'm talking about.
I
Don't
actually don't. I've
With the
never
little
watched-
pink tutu. Wait, what?
With the lobster claws and the.
No, I've never watched Powerpuff Girls.
That's because Matt didn't have a
Yeah,
childhood.
he had like the crazy voice.
So, you know what? There's a floorboard.
Is it extra squeaky?
Yeah, it's the extra squeaky floorboard, right? And you'll
You forgot to use your floorboard wax on it.
you'll pick it up, right? And you'll there'll be stuff. There will be there'll be like a New Testament Bible. There will be a brochure for a law firm that's not local to the city. The law firm from a different company, like a private law firm. And then there will be a photograph folded in half of you and a guy. And like you are obviously an item, right? And you're really happy.
Hand around the waist kind of shit, you know, very clearly.
And like you're not just an item, you're happy to be an item.
Yeah. Quick question. You said what kind of Bible?
A New Testament.
New Testament. Thank you.
It's a really worn out New Testament. Like this thing is at least.
It's been used.
It's been used for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Like it looks like it was printed in the 70s.
Shit, son. And you said a photo of a man, and I'm sorry, what was the third thing? There was a third thing. I'm writing them down.
A law firm.
The law firm. That's what it was. Yeah, the law firm isn't from around here. Alrighty, cool.
She was an item with a law firm?
No, we don't know that. I got 3 pieces of things here. Cool beans. How long does this all take me, like piecing this all together? I figured I could do this.
It takes you a couple days of like visiting again to like remember to feel out that safe spot. And it took you a good long while just to find the door in the first place.
I'm not staying here though. I am sleeping at Axel's place until I'm sleeping on floor, couch, whatever.
Oh no, Cassie has a guest room.
Well then I am very happy with that. I also help around the house. I will help around the house.
Cassie had a guest room built into the house. About the same time that Axel started, like repeatedly visiting the hospital and hanging out with new friends that were in trouble, She has no idea what's going on, but she knows that, you know, she could be helpful. She could be prepared. There's just some habits that you just don't not pick up from your spouse, and always being prepared is one of those habits you pick up.
Yeah.
Which is why there's always a casserole.
Let's see. What else would Faith want to do? Well, I mean, how far out of town is this lawyer firm deal?
It's about
talking
halfway,
airplane flight?
halfway across the country. Yeah.
Okay, not yet. Don't even know if I have any money to my name. So we're gonna.
What about your invisible jet?
I have an invisible jet. Squeegee, do I have an invisible jet? Can I roll to have an invisible jet?
Roll me bowl and shit.
Hold on. There, I got 2 successes.
You got 4 bowl and 5 shit, really?
Nice.
I've got a 9 in bullshittery.
That's not bad. All right, well, you can successfully bullshit somebody to believe that you have an invisible jet.
I don't need an invisible jet. I'm not friggin' Wonder Woman.
Shame.
Since that's halfway around the country, check. I mean, I know where we dropped Levi off. I can check in on him, see how he's doing after I'm done piecing things together after a couple of days, or unless that's as much time.
That's as much downtime. We'll get to that part in a bit. I wanted to go over each character's downtime. I will note none of you have had any contact with Jack. This doesn't really strike you as odd, though. Jack being quiet is kind of his MO.
No, Jack not giving us any information is the normal MO. Jack being quiet is not.
There's a difference between Jack and optical. Oh no! I hope he felt that one all the way from TwitchCon. I hope he felt it. Nah, I love me.
Heat-seeking shots fired. Okay, so
I do miss him.
Axel,
Yo.
you died. The case that was with Levi is also the case with you. That is to say, there was a body. Do you come back from the dead? Like, do you go in and, like, try and recollect your position? Do you let them know that you're not dead?
Wait, what location am I at right now again?
Okay, when we last left off, like, you were at home
still
with your wife.
Okay.
Like in the few weeks following your acquisition of Justice, the katana. Do you resume your old life?
Honestly, well, I mean, I had no contact from the police force or anything yet, right? Nobody's.
Right, you snuck in and took the katana.
Right.
Sorry.
I honestly don't know. I think I should. I guess I should go back to headquarters and see if there's any. I guess I just check in, go back to headquarters and check in to see if there's any assignments for me.
I will bring up, like, knowing that everybody thinks that your dead is showing back up. I'm gonna give you a point on the spot for your virtue, which is honesty. Like, even knowing that, like, that, you
People are gonna freak the hell out.
Yeah, people are gonna freak the hell out, or, like, the amount of the amount of trouble that's going to cause you. Like, you go back anyways. So I'll give you the honesty point for that, because that's the honest thing to do. Is, hey guys, I'm not actually dead. So there is a huge to-do that Omega is back. Vinny's kid. The world wasn't ready to lose another Omega, kiddo. You did. We're glad to have you back. There's a lot of questions, most of which you can't really answer straight.
Because who's gonna believe you? Oh.
Like, oh yeah, I was off fighting
Evil.
old gods and tentacle
Yeah.
monsters.
Literally
and,
evil.
Like literally pure and unadulterated evil. Like, what are you gonna tell them, right?
On an unrelated note, I do go in with my gun and stuff, but I'm leaving the katana. I'm not bringing that in with me because obviously that would be.
Yeah, like you kind of stole it from the evidence locker.
What is that doing on the side of your back instead of in the fucking evidence locker?
I thought he got it implanted in his hip like RoboCop's pistol.
Yo, that would be badass.
That would be badass.
But anyways, and yeah, no, it would be hanging from my belt, but I leave it in the car, obviously.
So you leave it behind. You come in. There's a huge to do. You can't really tell them much, because you know they'd fucking lock you away. Like you'd be padded cell material in no time flat. But they are happy to have you back, right? And you just kind of play it off like you don't really want to talk about it, right? You know the chief is like, no, seriously, what? And you can't really tell him either. You'd be like, it's complicated. And as you're in that moment, right, like, you're talking to the chief, and you see, like, behind the chief is his, as you're talking, right, because he's facing you, you're sitting on the edge of his desk, like, explaining, hey, I'm not dead, and and you're looking out the window. Right, out in the parking lot. And you remember a ways ago, the first couple of adventures you had when you encountered the supernatural, there was that the feds that were clearly not feds, that knew way more than they were supposed to, and like they recruited your assistance in helping keep things running smooth and not causing public panic.
Right.
You see one of them just like standing outside in the parking lot, like in a corner, like a street light, like just as you know anybody else would just think this guy was a business dude just sitting on the street corner with a briefcase, but you recognize his face, right? And the message is subtle but clear, like they've got your back, and so you can tell the chief like you're not allowed to talk about it. And he's like, what? And you give him the contact information for the agent that you were working with in the past, who said he had your back if you're ever in a tight spot.
Okay, yeah.
And so you can cover your ass that way, and you know he'll call up
deep
and be like,
undercover.
oh, yeah, like that they actually they claim to be Homeland Security, and that was a matter of national security, and there is under no circumstances, even on the phone lines, the net nothing. That operation doesn't exist, and how dare you call me asking about like I chew your boss out. And he like stares the phone.
How do you know about this? Why are you even calling me? Where did you get this number?
Yeah. And so
security.
and so that'll handle that. And you will be
Convenient.
You'll have picked up your job again. The caseload isn't light right now because I mean it was already spread out among the people that they had. There's also a new girl working in the office. She's got blonde hair. She looks like the workaholic that you have seen every fucking week on cop show TV primetime stuff, right? Like she's her tie is a little loose, but not like in that oh look at me I'm good looking way. Like she fucking works her ass off, right? And she is constantly tired looking, and she's got a pile of missing persons cases open on her desk.
Not Faith then.
No, Faith is Pluto Fairy, Matt.
I know, but I'm just.
I know the number of female cops. The number of female cop NPCs that can show up in my game is staggering. All right, just
no. Look, you
I'm
said
not even at the cop station.
Faith is blonde. I figured maybe the other blonde could be Faith trying.
Like now.
Yes.
Just fuck you. That was great. I love it.
All right, but so she, she's new. When you ask, like she's a transfer, you walk over, you say hi, and she just like, oh yeah, oh hi, right? But she's clearly like her mind is working. There's like like takeout cartons and stuff on her desk, and she's been here all night. And that's Officer Devlin. That's Officer Tracy Devlin. She is a missing persons expert that goes on load to locals to like the local police from the feds. And she has a pretty high turnover rate. And she is here until further notice. Like somebody will eventually let it slip that like they brought her in to find you. when you went missing at first, and she's the one that found your body.
Okay.
And so after a day or two will roll by, and you'll get called into the chief's office.
All right.
And when you come into the chief's office, there's Officer Devlin. And the chief sits down and he says, "All right, Axel, this is you're not gonna like this. Take a seat."
All right. Yeah, I'll take a seat.
He
Reluctantly,
says,
but I will.
he says, "Look, you bigwig friends and all. I get that. All right. I can't say I'm all that thrilled I wasn't brought in the loop. But it's the job, right? Cogs in the wheel. What we do. Because we're just
Right.
cogs in the machine, you're also going to do what you do. Nobody works this precinct without a partner. Losing you once, too much for us to handle. We're not risking that again."
Haven't I been working alone for the past so many years?
Yep. And then you died.
Then what's the change?
This is... It might have been fun for you going off into undercover land and gallivanting around with the spooks. But the rest of us thought you were dead.
Well, I'm not.
And you're not gonna be.
And how is having a partner gonna change any of that?
This is... Well, at least I'll have somebody I can trust working your cases.
So you can't trust me.
This is not if you don't tell me everything.
Well, I mean, shoot, I'm not gonna tell you that I wiped my ass this morning. I mean, what all do you want me to tell you?
Like I said, you were gonna like it. But you know what? You don't have to like it, Omega. Can't say I'd be much of a friend to your dad if I just let you run around on your own.
Fair enough.
Do me a favor and at least try to play nice. Sit down. Like
I can't promise that.
But
what's the job? Let's cut the shit. What's the job?
This is I would just finish briefing Devlin on it. Fills up a file. She hands over the manila folder. She says, "Somebody broke into the evidence locker."
What'd they take?
Well, what happened?
She hands you the manila folder. Right, you take it, you look it up. She says there were a couple of items that went missing. Some weaponry. A couple of pieces from a couple of different cases, actually. Stuff I know that was there at least a month ago because I was working your case. So far, we have unaccounted for. We have a couple of personal effects to various deceased individuals whose cause of death remain unclear. We have a missing katana.
Bam!
And there's a couple of artifacts of occult significance that have been recovered from crime scenes, and they've all gone missing together. And she looks up at the chief. She says, "Because your boss here is an asshole, we get the boring job."
All right. So what are we doing? Looking for somebody that stole a knife? I mean, I don't get it.
She says, "I don't know yet. I only just got the case filed today. Word on the street is that you're not thrilled to have a partner, so I'm not going to shove myself down your throat. If you have any ideas, feel free to let me know."
All right. Well,
This is, normally my skills have been put to use finding missing persons. And she, looks at the chief when she says that. She emphasizes the word persons, right? Frankly, I think the person in charge of the evidence locker should be running this investigation.
who's that?
Except he's incompetent.
She says, whoever they are, they're not doing their job, apparently.
Yeah.
The chief is he's trying You can tell, like, the chief is biting his tongue, like he doesn't want to mouth off at the liaison to the feds, right? Like,
So how can I help? Well, I mean, somebody came in and stole something. Why am I being pulled into this with my level of expertise?
just as well. Frankly, I think your boss doesn't like you.
Well, no shit.
And the chief is biting his tongue, right? This is the case I gotta sign. I know some of the cases that have missing evidence were reports you filed, so you might know something about what went missing that I don't. Unless you put everything in the files, like, I don't know. Did you leave anything out? I don't think you
No.
did. Like, your record kind of speaks for itself. So
Yeah, I don't. They're all there on record. I don't have anything unfinished.
Once you get done what you gotta get done for the day, and like later, 6 o'clock, we go pretend we're investigating something and look around the evidence locker itself for anything the culprit may have left behind. Like, she can't believe she's been assigned this case. Like, she is sick of this already.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see. I'll go ahead and just do some driving around town. Maybe I can like pick up some leads or something. I mean, how hard is it to find somebody running around with a freaking samurai sword or whatever the hell it is?
I think they kind of stick out like a sore thumb. Are we done here?
Yeah.
She looks over at the chief. The chief is like, just get out of my office. Stands up. You're gonna tell me twice.
I was about to say the same thing.
She'll open the door for you. She'll leave. She'll close the door. And as you start heading out, she says, "Hey, Omega. If it means anything, I'm glad you're not dead."
Me too.
If you know anything about the folks that set up your fake death, you let me know. I don't appreciate people slipping. I don't appreciate people pulling one over on me.
Trust me, that wasn't the intention. I can't really go into more detail than that.
Oh, she says, "I didn't think it was."
Right.
Boss seems convinced it's some spook theory. I don't necessarily buy it. But it's none of my business now. Case is closed.
Okay. Well,
She offers you a hand.
what's this?
It's a handshake.
Oh, a handshake.
Yeah. It's a handshake. Usually it's how
All
people
right.
let each other know that there is no ill will between them.
Yeah, no, not yet.
I'll see you around.
All right.
She'll head
I'm
one
just
way.
walk off.
You'll head the other.
I'm a lone wolf.
Oh,
Can you say it again just like that? Just say that again, ready? 3.
I'm a lone wolf. I don't have
I think Pluto Fairy has what it's, he's got it.
All I'm saying is that when we do that broadcast I was
I'll
talking
pick
about a
up a
couple
little
of
bit
weeks
of that
ago,
Axel charm.
I know. Whew. Steamy.
Pluto's getting the vapor. Think about me in the rain with the whitey tidies.
She's just trying to be nice, and you're just like,
Too much.
fuck off. It's great. I love it.
All right.
You
so,
stole the katana, Axel.
I could steal no katana. I don't even.
I'm gonna steal a fucking knife.
I stole like, I
got a
stole
gun.
a sword or something.
I got a gun. Why would I need a knife?
All right. So
I don't even know what a katana is. I've never been to Japan.
Never been to China. Oh my fucking god. That was pretty awesome. Also, Matt, I mean, it's not that he's gonna drive. Like, you can go check pawn shops. I mean, obviously, Axel's not going to do this, but you could hit pawn shops, fine arts dealers, that kind of stuff for people.
Oh, so
Hey,
it's not okay when I hit people, but he can just go ahead and punch whole shops and it's fine.
okay.
I could-
Hit. I was not. You're being ironic here. You're using the words
Yeah.
differently than I intend them to.
Matt drinks out of ice cube trays. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, don't even. There's.
He drinks ice cubes. We're
It doesn't even fucking matter. Just like let's. keep
okay,
going.
so we're gonna be right back here. When we get back, we're gonna cover what happened with
God,
Levi
it's
over the
amazing.
past couple of weeks, right?
I like
Don't-
how all of our beats have been shit talking each other, by the way. That's the only time we've earned beats is when we shit talked each other.
Don't touch that dial. I'm gonna set the loading screen up. I'm gonna leave the mics live so you guys can talk to the
BRBs.
audience while we're AFK.
Yep,
All right.
BRBs.
Be right back.
BRBs.
Well, in all honesty, I'm like got one sip of beer left, so I am going to go get a new beer.
Well, yeah.
Alcohol sounds like a good idea.